Let's review some legal matters, some high profile stories, legal matters in the news. Fox News legal analyst and author of Snapshot. Lise Wiehl, welcome back to the show. Lise, how you been?
Good morning. It's great to be with you from snowy New York.
All right. It's nice and sunny down here in South Texas. You're always welcome
Oh,
to visit, friend. You're always welcome to come down here.
thank you.
Let's
Thank
see.
you.
So prosecutors are seeking the death penalty in the Boston Marathon bombing suspect. No surprise here.
Yep.
How does this work out? When will this guy finally be tried and convicted, do you think?
Well, I agree with you. He's going to be convicted, and I agree with you that no surprise that they went for the death penalty. I mean, this was a horrible, horrible story, as you know. My son was actually in Boston, and one of the worst hours of my life was worried about him that day. So I'm all for them going actually for the death penalty on this one. It's going to take, though, a long time. The trial itself, probably not that long. It should be fairly quick, but the actual execution, pardon the pun, of the death penalty, especially in the federal system, takes a very long time. I mean, you can remember the last, really big high-profile case, I guess, was Timothy McVeigh,
Yes.
The Oklahoma bomber. So it takes a long way in the federal system for it to wend its way.
Why is that, Lise?
It just, first of all, it's very hard for the feds actually to ask the death penalty. They don't do it very often, but here there really wasn't a choice. And that I'm saying that because in Massachusetts, where of course this is going to be tried, they abolished the state death penalty. So if the feds hadn't gone after it, he would not have been tried on the death penalty. That's why they had to do it. And then there's just a lot of hoops, even more in the state system than in the state system, it seems to me.
Joining us on 710 KURV, Fox News legal analyst Lise Wiehl.
Lise, Tim Sullivan here, and turning to another long and complicated case, that of Amanda Knox. Let me just ask you, from what you've read and heard over the years on this, do you have an opinion on the guilt or innocence of Amanda Knox? Have prosecutors fabricated evidence, or is the evidence there to convict her?
I don't think prosecutors fabricated evidence, but they and the investigators certainly bungled the DNA evidence.
Enough to where she is innocent?
I can't say that. I don't know whether she's innocent or not. I think that if she were tried here in this country, she would not have been convicted based on the evidence that we've heard and seen in the Italian courts.
That's an interesting analysis.
Right.
Yeah.
The DNA, don't forget, she was roommates with Meredith Kirscher, the woman who died. So DNA, of course, would be there. Were there things, though, that, had piled up against her as far as her actions, preceding and after the death? Yes. But could those have been chalked up to a young woman that's just terrified and acting weird after something like this had happened? Yes. In our system, it's beyond a reasonable doubt. I don't think the prosecutors would have made that hurdle had it been here.
This goes through the courts in Italy one more time, and if they uphold the conviction, Italy has an extradition treaty with the U.S. Is this kid going to be shipped over to Italy, kicking and screaming? How does that work?
I don't think so.
No?
Yeah, we've got a 1983 contract, a bilateral contract with Italy, which says and basically says, look, if you've been tried in one country and acquitted, you can't then be extradited and sent back. So, looking at that bilateral treaty now, lawyers can get involved, and who knows what they can come up with. But from when I read it, just basically reading the treaty, I don't see how they.
Was she acquitted?
I don't think they'd get around that.
Was she acquitted and then retried?
Trial number 2. Yeah.
Double jeopardy type of scenario?
Yeah, but it's double jeopardy because we understand that concept. That's an American
concept. Yeah, they don't,
concept.
but yeah.
Yeah, they
but
don't
we
have
can
double
claim
jeopardy.
that because she was acquitted
Exactly.
previously. Okay, very well.
But
Exactly.
that's U.S. law, not Italian law.
Yeah, so you've got U.S. officials that are not going to be shipping her off, kicking and screaming over to Italy anytime
I think
soon.
she's pretty much consigned to living in this country. I
All
don't
right.
think we're going to ship her off, but
That's
I also think
yeah.
that if she were to go leave this country, that the Interpol would set out a red alert for her, and she'd be brought back.
Yeah, well, living in this country the remainder of your life is not so bad. All right, thank you
much.
much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lise. Fox News legal analyst Lise Wiehl on 710 KURV.